Why Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua is just like Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. I mean the same thing all over again. Buckle your seatbelt, y'all, because we about to go on a ride. Amazing Combat Sports. Let's go back. What's up, boxing fans? It's your man, Amazing Eric, right back at you with another one. At any time during this video, if you hear anything you like, feel free to hit the subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay, today we're going to talk about why the whole Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder thing is just like the Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao saga. Now, there are some differences. They're not totally alike. Let me tell you the differences first. That way you know I'm not crazy. The first difference is I don't think we're going to have to wait 5 years to get this fight. So it won't be just like it in that sense, in a time sense. It won't be 5 years. I really think we're going to get the fight this year. If we don't get it this year, I think we will get it early next year. Another difference for this fight, and this one is not talked about as much because I believe it's more subtle. You don't actually notice it's happening to you, but it is, and it's building more excitement for this fight, I think. These are two really big men, two hulking tall men. So whenever they give interviews, they're actually bigger than the person that's interviewing them. When they come to a talk show and they walk out, they're bigger than all of the other celebrities on the set. We didn't get that in the Floyd Manny fight. There's no nice way to say this. I'm not trying to diss Floyd or Manny. Big fan of both, but they're small men. And that's no diss on anybody of any height or size or anything like that. Please don't take it that way. It was not meant to be a diss. It was just the truth. These are a lot bigger men. So when you know two big men are going to fight and you're watching this, you're like, whoa, these big dudes are going to get it on. It builds even more excitement. Now, again, that's not to say that Floyd and Manny didn't have any excitement, of course, because as Floyd Mayweather himself would tell you, last time I checked, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao was the biggest fight in boxing history. So of course it had excitement, it built all the excitement, but this one has a little something different when you see these big dudes and you're like, whoa, those two big dudes are gonna fight. Okay, now let's get into the heart of the video, the things that make this fight the same as the Floyd Mayweather fight. The first thing we want to break down, the first thing we want to talk about: casual boxing fans become experts and they sound crazy. I'm gonna break it down to you. Check this out. As I was enjoying the NBA Western Conference Final basketball game between the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors, the game was at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. As I was watching the game, the ball was going back and forth. There was a timeout call. I said, wait a minute, that looks like AJ sitting right there. That looks like Anthony Joshua. Oh my God, it is AJ. That's dope. The commentators for that game were Reggie Miller, Marv Albert, and Chris Webber. Then there's a timeout and a sequence happens where Reggie Miller notices Anthony Joshua and he wants to start talking about the fight. Now let me say this first. There is nothing wrong with being a casual boxing fan. It's actually a good thing for the sport of boxing when we get a fight that's so big that the casual fans actually start talking about it. So this is no disrespect to Reggie Miller or Chris Webber or Marv Albert. Reggie Miller, Chris Webber, love those brothers, legends of the game, pure legends in what they do. Marv Albert been around forever, a legend, Hall of Fame level announcer. So no disrespect to them. I'm going to take you into a conversation. I'm going to reenact their voices, but this is what they really said, y'all. Check this out. Reggie starts first. Oh, look, everybody, it's the champ. It's Anthony Johnson. Now let's just stop it right there. Reggie, that man is named Anthony Joshua, not Anthony Johnson. Now, as you listen to this conversation, remember the theme of this point. Casuals become experts and they sound crazy. And then Chris Webber chimes in. Yeah, man, we got to see this fight, man. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Johnson. Yeah, we got to see this fight, man. The champ. And now Marv Albert chimes in. And Marv Albert has worked his fair share of boxing matches. He's done PBC fights. He's called Deontay Wilder fights. But Marv is obviously, let's just say, out of the loop. Now the problem is going to be with this fight. Deontay Wilder is going to want this fight in Birmingham, Alabama. Now stop it again. Wait, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Birmingham, Alabama, you putting all this stuff out. Marv, whoever said that? And then Chris Webber jumps right back in. He chimes in again. No, I'm sorry, champ. No, I don't care. I'm sorry. This fight can't be in Alabama. This fight got to happen in Vegas, Deontay. I'm sorry, champ. I'm sorry. This fight got to happen in Vegas. And here comes Reggie Miller again. Oh no, the Anthony Johnson fight has got to happen in Vegas. Anthony Joshua, Reggie. And then Marv Albert jumps in again. Well, I've called a few fights down there in Alabama, and Deontay Wilder's had 4,000 people there. And now Chris Webber jumps in again. No, I'm sorry, still, man, this fight gotta be in Vegas. This fight gotta be in Vegas. And I'm just gonna stop him right there. I can't take it anymore. I gotta stop the conversation right there. But do you see what I'm saying? Chris Webber, stop it. Reggie Miller, stop it. That man's name is Anthony Joshua. Marv Albert, stop it. The fight is not going to be in Alabama. And nothing but love for Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, and Marv Albert. Nothing but love, no disrespect. But you see my point. When these big fights like this happen, just like Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, casual boxing fans become experts and they sound what? Everybody say it together. Crazy. Okay, the next point we want to jump into, the next thing that shows you how Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is just like Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Here it is. Old heads in boxing become cranky and they either start hating on or they try to block the fight. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know this one happens. The old heads start hating and trying to block the fight. Think back about Floyd and Manny. All the negative energy we were getting from the old heads, from the legends. A lot of negative energy. The same thing can be said for right now. It almost comes across like you don't want to see Deontay Wilder be the undisputed American heavyweight champion of the world. And let's just keep it real here. I'm going to talk about 3 American legends right here. Teddy Atlas, Roy Jones, and Mike Tyson. That middle one, Roy Jones, my favorite fighter of all time. Y'all must have forgot. Roy Jones Jr. was my favorite fighter as a kid coming up in school. That's the reason I fell in love with boxing, watching Roy Jones. So this is not easy for me to say. It's really not. But I'm going to do it because I want to keep it real for my people out there. If these 3 American boxing legends, Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, Teddy Atlas, if they are saying, which they are, if they're saying, I don't think Anthony Joshua is ready right now. He needs 2 to 3 more fights before I feel he's ready for Deontay Wilder. What they are clearly saying is, I feel if they fight this year, Deontay Wilder would knock him out. Deontay Wilder would win. And then Deontay Wilder would be what? The undisputed American heavyweight champion of the world. So instead of being like, cool, if they fought right now, I feel like Deontay Wilder would win and we would have what? An American undisputed heavyweight champion. Instead of being like that and using their platform and their voices to force all parties involved, not just one side of the coin, all parties involved to give us the fight. No, they're not doing that. They're out there saying the fight shouldn't happen right now. The fight shouldn't happen right now. How else are we supposed to take that? Because to me, it clearly means you feel Deontay Wilder will win and you don't want to see that happen. And I'm sorry, but don't give me the whole, oh, I'm just trying to save the sport of boxing, the embarrassment that it went through with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather because it was such a boring fight. It was a smear, a black eye for the sport of boxing. You know, I know, everybody knows. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua will not be that type of fight. 2 big men, bombs away. You really don't know who's gonna win because just as much as you're saying, and people are saying that Anthony Joshua is gonna have to deal with Deontay Wilder's power. Trust me, Deontay Wilder's gonna have to deal with Anthony Joshua's power too. Either one of these men could knock the other one out. You could say all day that if Deontay gets AJ hurt like Klitschko had him hurt, then he would finish him. And you could very well be telling the truth. That could be true. But you can also say that if AJ gets Deontay hurt like Ortiz had him hurt, he's a younger man with a better gas tank, maybe he would finish him. You don't know. That's why we need to see the fight. Any man could win. May the best man win. Bombs away, baby. Let's go. Old heads, stop hating and trying to block the fight. What's wrong with you? Let us enjoy the fight. This is great TV. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. 2 big knockout artists in the ring together. Let's go, man. Everybody say it together. Let's go, man. Okay, the last one we want to cover here, we saved this one for last because this one is a bit more serious, a bit more heavy. The last thing to let you know, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua is just like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao is. It brings out the best and the worst in boxing. It could also be said like this: it brings out the best and the worst in people. Check this one out. Okay, let's start with the positive aspect of this because I'm a very optimistic person, so I would rather start with how it brings out the best in boxing. What I mean by that is, as me as a boxing fan, as a boxing head, I'm a sports fan. I go to the gym, 24-hour fitness, then you have to chop it up with your guys. Most of the time we have to talk NBA, NFL, baseball. We just have to talk about the major sports. We don't really get a chance to talk about boxing a lot. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, even Floyd and Conor too, but Floyd Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was the first time really everybody at the gym was talking about boxing. I loved it. It brought out the best in boxing. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua is starting to be that too. You have a lot of casual people. Hey, they're coming up to you because they know you know boxing. They're asking you about it. That is great. This is how it brings out the best in boxing. Our sport gets a chance to go mainstream. Everybody wants to talk about it. Now, how this brings out the worst in boxing and the worst in people is people take all of their anger, their hate, and their racism and they attach it to these type of events. Yes, we're going to keep it real right here. Your own personal anger, your own personal hate, your own personal misery, and your own personal racism, and you attach it to these events. Just like with Floyd and Manny, right? That turned into, by the time those two men finally stepped into the ring, that had been such an ugly, horrible, hate-filled race war right here on YouTube to where it separated the whole community and it's never really gotten back together again. And one of the reasons I was so excited about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua when this first started looking like this is our next big mega fight in boxing is because I thought for once we could swerve that element of it. We could not have to deal with the racial aspect because they're both black. Now, I knew we were going to have, and I expected the UK versus the US thing. That makes sense. This is a big prize. This is the undisputed heavyweight champ. UK should stand up and ride hard for Anthony Joshua. The US should stand up and ride for Deontay Wilder. That's what makes this fun. It's kind of like the Olympics, but some way we found ourselves in a race war again. It's come back and here it is again. And you want to know why we have it here again? We have it here again because people bring their hate, their racism, just their anger that they already have. They walk around with it in everyday life, but when they find an event like this, they can bring it in and they can attach all that misery and racism and they can give it a face and they can give it a name, and then they can be mad at a fighter, and then it doesn't make them feel so bad because they can kind of lie to themselves and say, this is about boxing, this is about the sport of boxing. No, this is about hate, malice, and racism that you already have in your heart. And if that statement just made you mad, if you find yourself upset now, you want to hit the dislike button. You were laughing earlier, but now you're mad. Let me tell you something. Let me give you an example and something to think about as to why you might be mad. My father shared something with me a long time ago. I was getting upset at a professor in college that was coming in talking about lazy people and how people come in, they're lazy. They don't deserve the opportunities they're getting. They're lazy. They're using their talent in sports to get certain things. They're lazy. I kept getting really mad, and my dad finally told me, he said, son, let me tell you something. You need to check yourself, because if I walk into a room and there's a lot of men in the room and I say, hey, look up here, and what I say is every stank breath, yellow teeth, no job having, lazy, hadn't took a bath or changed your drawers in 5 days, man, I can't stand you. You make me sick. He said, you know who's gonna get mad in that room? The men with stank breath, with yellow teeth, that are lazy, with no job, and have them same drawers on for the last 5 days. That's who gets mad. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? You get it? So if you got mad right there, I got nothing but love for you. Your man Amazing Eric still has nothing but love for you. You can be mad. I still have love. That's cool. I'm just saying, if you did get mad, maybe it's a reason why you got mad. And hey, from time to time, we all need to do a little self-evaluation just to try to improve ourselves and be better people. That's all. I guess the best way to sum this up is this. In my humble opinion, just my opinion, I believe there are people in every race, every single race, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Polynesian, Middle Eastern, I might be missing something, a blend of all of them, mixed people, whoever. I believe there's people in every single race that take their racist, hateful, vengeful views and they attach it to events like this. They attach it to Mayweather versus Pacquiao. They attach it to Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. And now they are attaching it to Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. And again, if I'm not talking to you, why are you mad? If your breath is not stink, if you haven't had the same drawers on for 5 days, if I'm not talking to you, you shouldn't be mad. Even if you are mad, if that is how you are, I don't hate you, because guess what? At the end of the day, people actually have the right to be racist if that's what they choose to do. I'm just saying, I don't think it's cool. I think it's whack. Because I personally would like to see, this is just my personal feelings. If you don't feel this way, I can respect that. That's cool. But I personally would like to see, when we get the big stage, when our little cult following of a sport, boxing, when we get the stage and everyone's looking and talking about our sport, I would like to see our energy go more on building our sport, hyping our sport. These two men are going for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. They say there is no bigger prize in the sport of boxing than being the undisputed heavyweight heavyweight champion of the world. It has been a long time since the heavyweights had the forefront. Mr. Boxing Today, stand up. I know you've been riding for the heavyweight division for a long time. Shout out, Mr. Boxing Today, stand up. So let's put our energy, let's put our effort into building the sport. If you do want to place pressure on the fighters, that's cool. Let's get them in the ring because we need to fight. It's going to be a great fight, and we don't need to fight in 2 or 3 fights. Sorry, Roy Jones, I just don't agree with you. Much respect, but I don't agree with you. We need to fight now. Let's do it now. Let's get it on. Hit the subscribe button. Amazing Combat Sports. Peace.